Okay. Yesterday we covered Article 3. Article 3 establishes what? Judicial branch. Judicial branch. What's the judicial branch do? They interpret the laws. Okay, what's the judicial branch made up of? Supreme Court and other federal courts, which are district courts, lower the lowest level, and Court of Appeals is the one in between. Okay. We started on Article 4 then, relations among states. Full faith and credit clause. Somebody go back over there with me. Okay, so states must recognize other states' official documents. So if I have a driver's license in the state of Missouri, I can drive in all 50 states across the United States. Okay, those states must recognize that official document. Section 2, equal treatment in all states. I can't make a law that punishes other people from other states or privileges people within my own state. All the laws we pass inside the state affect all citizens of the United States. Okay? Extradition, or extradition, however you say it. I commit a crime in the state of Texas. I move back to the state of Missouri. They catch me in Missouri. They must send me back to Texas to be tried, because that's where the crime took place. Now, where does this come up as important? In what instances? What situations? Like, can you think of a punishment that might be a little bit different in one place as compared to another place? Death penalty. If I commit a crime in a state that has a death penalty, even if the state that they catch me in or the state that I'm from doesn't have it, if I get tried in the state that does have a death penalty, I am subject then to that death penalty. Okay? Alright.
Yes? What happens if you do two crimes, but one in each, like a different state?
So then
stay in the state that you're in, or go back to the...
It would probably, they'd pick which one's worse and they go to that state.
If it's just both...
Or if it's in both, so they might bump it up and say this is going to go to a federal court now, because it's across states.
You've made a crime that's illegal in Texas, but legal in Missouri,
So you committed the crime in the state that it was illegal in?
Yes.
Then you would go back to that state if they caught you. Yes. Your warrant out for your arrest. So, they catch me, I got a taillight out or something like that, and they say, oh, well, the state of Texas has a warrant out for your arrest. I have to take you in now. Okay? Article 4, Section 3. Congress has the power to accept new states, and Congress has the power over federal land. What's federal land? Okay, so wildlife refuges, national parks, things like that. Mark Twain Forest. Okay, those are all federal land. Nowhere, though, even though that Congress has the power to accept new states and has the power of federal land, nowhere is Congress in the Constitution given the power to acquire new territory. But we have done that. And we've done that through a couple foreign policy statements. Like what? What's the most famous foreign policy statement that allows us to acquire new land? Monroe Doctrine. Very good. Goes along with the idea and the concept of manifest destiny. Very good. We're doing good today. Ate our Wheaties this morning. Federal government. You guys don't even know what Wheaties are, do you?
They're really good. Orange box with that Dude Duncan.
Dude Duncan? Hey? It's like Raisin Bran without the raisins. No, that's like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
No,
that's shredded.
Oh, that's shredded mini wheats.
I love wheats.
Yeah. You like mini wheats? Okay. Federal government can send in troops to maintain law and order. The president has that power. He is the commander-in-chief. This came up in famous examples. The Little Rock Nine. Remember what happened with them? Brown versus Board of Education, which did what to schools? No, that's monkey trial. Scopes monkey trial. Brown versus Board of Education said schools had to do what during the Civil Rights Movement? Huh? Yes, African Americans had to desegregate all schools, which means African American students could go to white schools. There was going to be no segregation in public schools. Well, in Arkansas, the governor said, not happening. I'm going to use the National Guard to make sure that these African American students do not go to a white school. So he's going to use the military inside the state of Arkansas. President Eisenhower said, no you're not. I will nationalize the Arkansas National Guard, and I will tell them to protect the African American students. So in a couple of matter of hours, the National Guard went from preventing these kids to come in to now they're under the control of the president and protecting these students as they went into school.
Yeah.
9 of them win. Yeah. Article 5. Moving on. Article 5 is one of the more important, well they're all important, but Article 5 is important for amendments because it is the one that talks about the process of amending the Constitution. If I amend the Constitution, what am I doing? Changing it or adding to it. Okay? This process, right off the very bat, the very first thing you should know about it is very, very, very hard. And it's hard on purpose. We should know all this, right? Reviewing? Okay. Why is it so hard? Very good. Very good. Okay? It takes a 2/3 majority of Congress, again this should all be reviewed, 2/3 majority of Congress to propose, you need to add that in there, to propose an amendment, and it takes 3/4 of the states, or 38, to ratify an amendment. What's ratify mean? Approve. Okay? 2/3 majority vote in Congress to propose, 3/4 of the states to ratify. How does popular sovereignty fit into all this? To get 3/4 of the states, who has to approve it, basically, essentially? The people. The people have to tell their representatives or their state legislators, hey, yes, we like this, or no, we don't. There's not much on this because this all should be reviewed. I don't have to go through this process, right? Got it down from the last chapter? Okay. Article 6. National supremacy. First thing in here, all debts are going to be paid by the federal government. So in Articles of Federation, we accumulated a lot of debt. Why? Because we couldn't tax. Under the Articles of Federation, the national government could not tax. Only states could tax. So we have all these soldiers fighting in the American Revolution. We have all these debts that we have to pay, pay off the French, things like that. And we have no money. We could have, with the new Constitution, said, hey, you know what, all that debt, get rid of it all. We're starting over, brand new. Putting zeros in the accounting book. But we didn't. Why don't you think they did that? They could have just wiped their whole slate clean and not paid their soldiers, not paid off their debts to other countries. Okay, probably would have been a little bit upset if that had happened. And, we're establishing this concept of the people are going to rule themselves. You need to kind of, essentially man up and say, hey, we have this debt, we're going to pay it eventually. Okay? War bonds, things like that, you had to pay back those citizens that helped you win the war. Without those citizens, it wouldn't have happened in the first place. Okay, but the big part with Article 6 is that the Constitution is supreme law. There is nothing above the Constitution when it comes to laws. National supremacy. The Constitution is the law of the land. It rules over all the laws, including state laws. We talk about our federalism umbrella, right? States have to pass these laws under the umbrella, because if they are on the outside of the umbrella, they get rained on. Okay? Nobody likes to get rained on. So what about Colorado then? Colorado passed a law Washington passed a law. Huh? What law did they pass? Marijuana. Right? Marijuana. So how did they get by with that? Is it in the Constitution that marijuana is illegal? No, but national law says that.
So where are the national laws?
Where are the national laws at? In court cases. Decided by the Supreme Court. There's not like an actual like law. Well, there is law books written down, but they're all based upon court cases. Okay? So how does Colorado then pass a law that says you can smoke weed here? If a national person, an FBI agent or CIA agent or whatever, even TSA, something like that, goes into Colorado and you have a marijuana production company, what can they do? They can shut you down. Okay? But a state highway patrolman in Colorado can't. So why is the government doing this? Let's just think about that. Why is the government allowing these states to produce this when it's against national and federal law? They're trying to see if Colorado is going to make profit off of it. Because if Colorado can make profit off of weed, then it's going to be way easier for the national government to say, hey, you know what, this is okay because we can make profit off of it. They won't come out and tell you that, but that's what's happening.
What's the point of that? If the national government knows, then you just keep sending people in there and shut stuff down.
But they're not. They haven't sent anybody in there to shut stuff down. It's been over almost 2 years.
You think?
Colorado is making money off of it, but the process is not good enough yet to where it could probably be legal. Where do I think it would be legal? I don't know.
When do you think it's going to be legal?
I don't. To be honest with you, no.
Some states.
No, I think eventually it'll get shut down in all the states.
So Washington's doing it too?
Mm-hmm. It's just my opinion. Okay, no religious test. Also in Article 6. No religious test is a qualification for a public office. So if I'm going to be the county collector of Cooper County in the state of Missouri, I do not have to take a religious test in order to hold that office. What's that mean? Well, it used to be in some states, like your Pilgrim states and your Quaker and those kind of things, where if you weren't a member of the church, you could not be a public office holder. So in the Constitution, we come out, we want to separate church and state. We want to have religious freedom and things like that. So that means the government cannot support one religion. So with this, then now, okay, nowhere in the qualifications to become a public office do you have to say you have to be this. We could have a Muslim president. You can have a Jewish president. You can have a Jewish county collector. You can have what's another religion? An Orthodox mayor in a town. Okay? Yes?
We don't have to do anything, but how is Jew a religion in a race?
It's not a race.
Well, people always say,
It's a religion.
well, like on the math and stuff, like Jewish is always
Really?
yeah.
As a race?
Yeah.
Or as an ethnicity? Because that's totally different.
I don't know, it's like Asian, African American, Jew, Native American.
It's not. Shouldn't be. Because anybody can be a Jew. Huh? Okay. No, I'm not a Jew. Article 7. Last article.
Are we taking the test tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. No. We gotta do the amendments.
Oh,
You have to use them.
Don't be but you
Ratification of the Constitution. So we got to approve all this. It's going to take 9 out of 13. Now this is a little bit different because why? Articles was all 13. So what did we learn from the Articles? What was the problem, remember, we had with ratifying the Articles of Federation took us almost 2 years to get done because we had to have all 13. And you have these small states that hold out because they don't like some of the things. Well, we figured that out. Hey, that's not good. We want to get that process done a lot faster. So we're only going to require 9 out of the 13 states to approve. Once we get 9, this article is done. There's no more. You don't need it anymore. But we still, it's in the Constitution. It's not like they just cross it out. But once we get 9, all this goes into effect. Okay? Now, what was the problem with them getting the 9? They got 9, right? But who did they not get? The big states. So eventually you had the Federalist versus the Anti-Federalist, and what did you have to add? Bill of Rights and the amendments. Okay? Again, that all should be reviewed. Yes? Okay. Alright, we're going to do this one slide and then we'll be done. I'll give you time in class to work on stuff. I know. I'm feeling generous. The amendments explicitly laid out human rights for all United States citizens. We had to do this to get the Constitution ratified to satisfy the needs of the Anti-Federalists. The first 10 are called the Bill of Rights. They were signed and added at the very beginning of when the Constitution was ratified. 13, 14, and 15 are known as the Civil Rights Amendments, or Civil War Amendments, not Civil Rights, Civil War Amendments. Why? Because they were added either during or after the Civil War. 18 is no longer in effect because of 21. 21 basically crosses out, well, does cross out 18. 18 was what? Prohibition. 21 is the repeal of prohibition. 12, 15, 17, 19, 23, 24, 26 all have to do with voting. So what does that tell you? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 amendments, and they have to do with voting. What has changed the most in the United States? Voting. The qualifications for voting, the process of voting, that is something that you as a United States citizen need to have a right to do, but we have to, that right and that ability has changed over time. Okay? 12 says that you're going to vote for the president and the vice president on the same ticket. 15 is the right to vote. 17 is the direct election of senators. 19, women's suffrage. 23 is... 23, somebody help me out. Let's see, 22 is limit on presidential terms. 23 is abolition of poll tax. Oh, DC electoral votes. Okay, yeah. And then 24 is abolition of poll tax. 26 is the Vietnam Amendment, where you get 18-year-old vote. Okay?
What? I was not done.
What?
Thanks, yeah. There you go. Very last.
Well, that's good, because this is where we're going to stop. We will start with the amendments. Now, I will warn you that tomorrow and Thursday we're going to go pretty quick, because this is stuff that we should already know from our amendment PowerPoint. Okay? All I'm going to have up here is the title of them that I want you to know. And then we're just going to talk about them. So if you want to write anything extra, it's just you're going to get it from me talking.
Wait, no, you're...
I'm already recording. It's going to be on the YouTube. Which I'm signing off.